Bridge. Manny, what's happening? You're on the roast. What up, Manny?
Hey, fellas. Good morning. It's been a while since I called in. I listen to you guys every day, as always. Man, I sat there in disbelief on Tuesday. I was hoping beyond hope that they were going to pull it off, man. When they came within one, I said, here we go. I need playoff Klay. And then reality sunk in.
Yeah.
We all saw it, man. We all saw it. And what I want to reference is this. You guys been talking about the Giants. I'm going to reference the Niners, man. Bill Walsh had a philosophy of letting guys go before they got to the point where you had to let them go. Guys like, Ray Wershing and Hacksaw, right? And I think as much as we love Klay and appreciate everything that he's done for this team over the last decade, what's the point in paying him and keeping him around? We saw what we saw, right? The young cats are the face of the franchise. And I was just thinking while I was on hold, man, Mike Dunleavy has to take a page out of the A's book and moneyball this thing and find players that are going to fit under the cap that we can revolve around Steph. I know you guys have been saying it, and I'm just parroting off of it, but keeping Klay, keeping Draymond, as sentimental as it is, because we all were there a decade ago. I remember where I was when they won their first championship. I was sitting in my buddy's living room in disbelief. Yep. But, as great as the memory is, you hold on to that and you got to move forward. And that's what us as a Warrior fan base, like you said, we're going to find out who's who when the time comes, when we build this thing down and bring it right back up. But we got to do it while we still have number 30 able to be the central piece in bringing it up. That's all I got, fellas. I appreciate your time. Appreciate the line as always.
Hey, excellent call, Manny. Excellent call. And I'm kind of with you there. They're going to have to rebuild this thing. It's just a tough reality.
To do the legal.
And we're going to do the legal, and we're going to get into Klay Thompson. Because it's been weighing on me. It has been. That image of him walking off the floor Tuesday night without getting a bucket. Not one bucket. It just sucks that that's the lasting image for a lot of people here after a decade. And really after a solid season for him. He really changed his season. He turned it around. He came off the bench the last game before the All-Star break, and he lit it up, and he didn't look back. He had a really good end to the season until, of course, the play-in game. And that was tough. You are listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HG1 San Francisco. Don't forget that you can also watch us every single day on our YouTube and Twitch streams. Just log on and search 95.7 The Game. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel while you are there. Brought to you by First NorCal Credit Union. Upgrade your savings dividend. Open a First NorCal First Class Money Market today. You can now download the Odyssey app directly from our YouTube and Twitch pages, as we have added the QR code on both pages. Shout out to the Xfinity Mobile text line. Klay Thompson. Mike Dunleavy is going to speak at noon today. Mike Dunleavy, the GM of the Golden State Warriors, he'll be speaking at noon for everybody out there. So I'm sure we will carry that live right here on 95.7 The Game. Mike Dunleavy, GM of the Warriors, speaking at noon. You can hear it right here on 95.7 The Game. But the first question was from Anthony Slater, who will join us in about, 55 minutes. First question to Klay Thompson. And Klay's initial response, I want you to hear this.
Your future with the Warriors heading into this offseason that feels obviously pretty unknown. We don't want to talk about the season first. You want to talk about the future? That was a lot of games played, man. That was a pretty big accomplishment. What's up with y'all not wanting to live in the present, bro? It's ridiculous. Anyways, what was your question?
That's Klay. And then here's what he said about lingering on the court after the Sacramento loss.
Some of the things going through my head. Well, the first one, just disappointment because did not shoot the ball well, obviously. Big old donut, so that wasn't very fun. I did look up in the nosebleeds, though, and I did see a man wearing a number 11 jersey. That made me happy, considering my history in Sacramento from playing a state championship there to playing the Kings in the playoffs. That was kind of a full circle moment for me. So that was actually a good moment, just seeing that Warriors fan standing by his lonesome up in the 300 level, repping 11. That made me grateful.
Wow. And then let's just go back to the first question one more time.
Your future with the Warriors heading into this offseason that feels obviously pretty unknown. We don't want to talk about the season first. You want to talk about the future? That was a lot of games played, man. That was a pretty big accomplishment. What's up with y'all not wanting to live in the present, bro? It's ridiculous. Anyways, what was your question?
Klay, as I watched that live on the Zoom, looked very uncomfortable. He would answer a question. Somebody starts asking a question. He put his head down. I just wanted to there's one of the most moments where you want to give a guy a hug. You don't score in the play-in game. You lose in the play-in game. Could be your last game as a member of the Golden State Warriors. He just didn't look like he wanted to be there yesterday. Looked like he just wants to get away. Looked like he's conflicted. He's just never been in this position before. He's not the same player. You go 0 for 10 on national television, 0 for 6 from 3. Then he's talking about the guy he sees in the 300 Club wearing the number 11 jersey. Just reflected on it. Klay was salty. He was quirky. You could see the emotions on his sleeve. You could see it on his face. It was a tough scene, Shasky.
You know what?
It was tough for me to watch.
Oh, I want to continue talking about this, but instantly what I was thinking when I heard him, both after the game, just all year. Before the game, you sent us some audio from him. All year. And I think even going back to last year, this is the song that was going in my head when I would hear Klay Thompson talk. He's in his feelings. The guy's been in his feelings nonstop, and he's all over the place. I legitimately feel empathy for him, and he's hitting the Pablo zone. I feel like he's in the Pablo Sandoval zone in that I think he's got a lot of frustration, anger, whatever the word is you want to use to describe it. And I think he's going to look back at himself and just the situation as a whole. And I think there's going to be some regret. I think there's going to be a lot of regret, whether it's the fans, just things that have happened. I think he's going to look back at this situation with a different perspective.
Well, he'll grow from it. He needs to grow from it.
But I don't think sometimes he understands how it's perceived. He comes off as angry, and I just think that there's a lacking of reading the room at times when I hear some of the things that he says, and I think that it is perceived by a lot of people. And who I heard from yesterday, they're like, "Bro, why are you angry?"
But you know what, though?
And he's mad at Slater for asking the question. It's well, did you want Slater to start with? You didn't play well yesterday. I don't know.
Slater was fair, but you know what, though? He listens and watches everything to a fault. Which is always, whenever I speak to teams or players, I say, please don't look at Twitter. Don't look at social media. Because here's the fact that these players do look at social media. And they do hear the things that we say. It's been proven. Draymond Green proved that to us all one night in Madison Square Garden. Klay Thompson hears everything. And he's heard everything. He had to quote last season when he said, these bandwagon fans, they weren't here when we were down bad. Remember that? He had to walk that back?
Yeah.
He hears everything. It's probably not the right
look.
It wasn't a good look, but it was truth in that. It was some truth in that.
Yeah, but you don't
it wasn't the best look.
You don't have to say everything that goes through your head.
What I'm saying is he goes through it and he doesn't know how to channel that. And I'm okay with that. The guy's a human being. The guy hears and he wears his frustrations after having 2 devastating leg injuries. And he's like, damn, my old fan base, half this fan base don't have my back, Klay Thompson.